life to TV?
Well, I knew nothing about making sitcom and family comedy, and they all knew nothing about animation. So the biggest difficulty is everyone educating each other on how it's normally done, and figuring out how we can twist the process enough to make it possible to do high quality animation at this speed, because this is making television is really fast, and feature animation, or my short, 6 minutes long. It took 51 weeks, and we only have 6 weeks per episode to make this show. So very different, and I think really smart choices about what you're spending your money on performance and acting, and what you can kind of not worry about as much. So we didn't worry as much about fur sim. The fur doesn't completely move all the time, only when necessary. But we made sure that the animators that we put on were really high talent performers and could make the comedy work. That's job one, I think.
What did you base the Imaginary Mary character of the animation off of? Anything in particular? Or is it...
Well, the original pitch was a little different. So in the beginning, it was more of a little monster thing that was kind of labyrinthy, and like kind of an 80s labyrinth thing, definitely with the influence of Adam Goldberg in there a little. And as we realized that we wanted the show to be a little bit different like that, we actually made the character and did the pilot with that monstery looking character.
Oh, okay.
And then as we realized we had rewritten the story of the pilot a little, we definitely had to adjust the cuteness and make it kind of fit the character that was written. So we redid the pilot animation to match the feeling of the character. Because in the beginning it wasn't. That monster was no longer who the character was.
Okay.
But you have to start making it so much ahead of time, because it takes like 3 or 4 months to make the character.
Wow. Okay.
But we did it. And then getting to do the season, it was nice to rework that a little bit and get a chance to do something that felt more in line with what the character was, how it was written by the end.
And did you voice the character after it was created the second time, or during the process?
For the pilot, we voiced it, and we realized that Rachel Dratch was an awesome person to work with, and even in writing, it turned out that it was really easy to kind of keep rewriting the lines and making them funnier, because the animation was done later. So the edit was done with a puppet that we shot on set with a puppeteer. So Jenna was acting with a puppet or nothing, and she'll talk about that, I'm sure. But and then we replaced it with the real thing, and Rachel just fit. We tried a bunch of different people against the picture of the character and decided that that would be the most. I mean, she's great at emoting through her voice. Like, you can read a lot into it already, and it's great for animators to work with that kind of stuff, which is cool.
So Mary seems like a very demanding imaginary friend. Why do you imagine Jenna's character, Alice, would have created an imaginary friend who was so needy herself?
I think it's. I think it's about having an engine of conflict in something that kind of challenge her. I think it's the idea that it's that voice of conscience in our head that is kind of telling us to go a different way or to run is kind of fun. So I think that's where we decided. I think if it wasn't that way, it might just be less interesting to interact with. I don't know.
And so why do you think people should watch this show? What's the reason they should sit down and watch it every week?
For me, it's a release. It's a wacky, kind of ridiculous premise that is escapism, and that's set in a family situation that feels common enough. I think that it's not an unusual situation that the family is in. So everybody's dealing with things that are heavy and real out there, and I think television should be a little bit of an escape from that.
Was Mary's colors ever different than how she appears right now?
No, she was always white for some reason. It's one of those things where you draw it once and then you never change it because no one ever has a problem with it. I drew a couple hundred different versions. We all talked about which ones they were, but they were all black and white drawings on pencil and paper. And we always wanted this little poofy thing. I think it just felt a little bit more, the reference for the painting was a throw pillow. It's like a pillow, alpaca fur pillow in my living room. And it has this like soft, cuddly feel, and you just want to like rub it on your face. And, it felt like something that a kid would make a little bit. So yeah, it was always white. Different colored spots sometimes though. Blue, pink, boy or girl, whatever. But we don't want to be too girly, so that's where it lands. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.